If you're not approaching women, you're not playing it safe. You're missing opportunities. Men avoid approaching because it feels risky. But let's tell the truth. Only 3 things will happen. 1, she's into it. You talk. You connect. Maybe something actually happens. 2, she's not. You get rejected. Cool. You survived. Your life doesn't crumble. 3, she says, I have a boyfriend, and you walk away like a man who actually knows what he wants. That's it. Those are the outcomes. So the real risk? Not approaching and staying invisible.
Number 2, fear of rejection. Absolutely. Most of us have fear of rejection. It takes a lot of confidence to walk up to a woman or a table of women, probably in that scenario, and run the risk of being rejected in front of an audience. Or even not even in front of an audience, even if she's just on her own and, the lady says, no, thank you. Yeah, it's going to hurt. So they would just rather just carry on about their day and not put themselves through that. And number 3 was that we are all living in a digital world now, and we're all hiding and feel a lot safer behind our screens. And again, why would you run the risk of being turned down in front of an audience when it's so much easier and safer to go home, slide into somebody's DMs, and then nobody will ever know if that person doesn't respond. So we're all just sort of in our little digital bubble and have sort of, because of that, lost the art of having conversation and approaching people in public.
What a very interesting post. And it will never cease to amaze me that some individuals actually have time to, I hope, proofread those things, and then still decide that it's a good idea to put it out there on the internet for everyone to see. But for those ladies, and some gentlemen out there that will probably agree with that post, what exactly makes you think that way? I really wonder how a person could come to that conclusion, because ironically, some of those women that make posts like these are the very same ones that they say have more empathy than men, yet seem to be incapable of displaying it. Because I hope you do realize that men are victims as well. They're not trying to convince you that they're victims. They actually are. So where is that empathy that you talk so much about? Because men, in fact, do care about their mental health as well as that of others. And if you don't see that, well, then that's the bigger problem.
Submission is easy when your man is doing exactly what you want him to do. But the real test comes in when your preference is one thing and his judgment is something entirely different. We want leverage. We want veto power. We want to have the final say. We want the reassurance that we're never completely at the mercy of somebody else's decision. But that's where things stop making sense. Because women say, we want a man to lead. But leadership isn't really being tested if your man agrees with everything you say. Leadership is tested when he doesn't, when he sees something differently, when he makes a decision you wouldn't have made and you have to go with it. When your instincts say go left, for example, but his judgment is telling you stay right. And that's exactly where a lot of us struggle. Because a lot of times what we call submission is actually conditional leadership. That's keeping one hand on the steering wheel. And that's not what submission looks like. If you trust your man to be the leader, then you trust that he is capable as well. Because leadership becomes meaningless if the leader only gets to lead when he agrees with you. And if I only trust your leadership when it aligns with my preferences, then I'm not really following your leadership at all. I'm following mine. That's the tension a lot of us wrestle with. Because a lot of women say they want leadership, when what we actually truly want is the comfort of knowing that we can take it back whenever we want.
Call me whatever you want, but I've come to the realization that I'm just too big and black in America to be randomly approaching women in public. First of all, y'all don't even really want to be bothered for real. And I get that because I'm the same way. I just be minding my business. Besides, with how women talk about how much they fear for their safety around men, I ain't really trying to scare nobody. So basically at this point, if she doesn't make it painfully obvious that she wants me to talk to her, it doesn't really matter what the attraction level is. I'll respectfully keep it pushing and let God take the wheel.
What I say is that, again, as welfare displaced the role of men, taking away feminism at exactly the same time, both in the mid-1960s, early 1970s, deceived women into believing that femininity was weak, masculinity was toxic, marriage was oppressive, the home was a prison, and children are a burden. And that wave of feminism is the first time you started to hear women saying, I don't need a man. I don't need a man in my home as a husband, as a partner, and I don't need a man in the home to care for my children as a father. Now, there are other complicated issues: urbanization, job loss, unemployment, manufacturing jobs being moved overseas. But what you see is that people were still having relationships. Children were still being born.
Hi, my name is Caroline, and I have been single for over 5 years. And for 2.5 of those years, I have lived in Austin, Texas, and dating here has been really challenging. I'm sure some can relate. And I've done every single dating app. I've reached out to guys in DMs. I've asked guys out in person. I've even gone to singles events, and somehow I'm just not meeting the right people. So with that said, I'm putting myself out there in a very different way via social media. And if this is a complete fail, then it is what it is. I literally have nothing to lose at this point, but I thought that I could reach a whole lot more guys this way, and maybe someone that would be more compatible with me may see my video. So anyways, here we go. So to hit the highlights, Caroline, 27. I live in Austin, but I grew up in Chicago. I got my bachelor's degree at Indiana, and I got my master's degree at Northwestern. My dog is about to bark for me, so 1 second. Go. Okay, sorry about that. I worked as a speech therapist for about 3 years, and then recently I've made a career shift and I'm starting my own business that I'm really, really excited about. I've taught group fitness classes for about 2.5 years, and I'm really involved in health and wellness, and I exercise every single day. I have a wiener dog named Mario who wanted to come on my lap at the most perfect time. So this is Mario. He's the love of my life, and whenever someone stops me around town, it is never to talk to me. It is always to talk and ask about Mario, which is fully understandable. And my parents live in Charleston. I'm very, very close with them. And then I thought I would just hit some fun facts. I always have this ongoing list in my notes app that it's things that make me feel a certain type of way good, and then things that make me feel a certain type of way bad. And I just add to it as things come up in life. And so I'm just gonna share a couple things, and if you resonate and you're like, oh my God, I totally I vibe with that, then reach out to me, okay? So, list of bad things, a couple of those would be Las Vegas, gerbils, so hamsters, rodents of sorts, cruises, mezcal, which is a hot topic in Austin because mezcal is huge here, and then bringing a dog to a crowded bar. Those are things I just do not vibe with. Things that make me feel some type of way good: early 2000s hip hop, more 2010s, I guess, college football, clean sheets, anything true crime, documentary, podcast, I'm there. And then early morning workouts, 6 a.m. workouts, love to be done with my exercise before the sun rises. Those are just a couple things about me. Again, I know I have nothing to lose by putting myself out there, maybe just a little bit of embarrassment, but I thought I'd give this a shot because I don't know what else to do. So anyways, reach out to me via TikTok or Instagram.
No. These modern women like to make it seem like it's a risk for a man not to approach. Well, if you don't do this, then think about how your life is going to be. If I don't approach these modern women, then my life is going to be just fine. If I'm able to find a woman where she respects me, she respects my approach, and she doesn't say, oh, well, you really didn't do it like I've seen in the movies. I've seen in the movies, so you must be a trash person. Now, a man might come up there and he might be, stumbling and fumbling over his words, but you could use that as, kind of a cute story. Me and your father met, and he wasn't the most the words that he had to say, he wasn't the most eloquent of speech, but he came over there and he gave it his best shot, and he said, "Hey, how are you?" His leg was shaking, he was kind of sort of sweating, but he stuck out his hand and he said, "Hi, my name is Jack, what's yours?" And I could see he was super nervous, and so I just kind of said, "Okay, take a breath, calm down. I'm not the boogeyman. My name is Tracy." And after that, over the course of next 5 minutes, he calmed down. But nowadays, instead of doing something like that, modern women they make rejection not only something that it's a rite of passage, like you just get rejected, that it is what it is. You're going to get rejected by women, you're going to get rejected in life. They make it their mission to make rejection a humiliation ritual.
You know something that a lot of wives don't realize? When men are younger, they try really hard to earn love. They build things, they fix things, they plan vacations. They buy gifts, they work overtime to provide. Not because they just love projects or working so much, but because they are hoping those things will make their wife look at them with love, with admiration, with desire. But over time, men start noticing something. The house project didn't make her love him more. The vacation didn't make her want him. The gifts didn't make her reach for him more. It just put her in a better mood. And eventually, a lot of men realize, I have been managing her mood, not receiving her love. And when a man starts to believe, no matter what he builds, buys, or provides, it still won't make him feel loved, that's when he slowly stops trying. Not because he stopped loving her, but because he stopped believing it would ever be enough. Sometimes the thing a man needs most is not another project to complete. It's simply a wife who reaches for him.
A woman will stick more in a relationship, a toxic relationship, an abusive relationship, for many, 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 many more years than a man would.
Women pick toxic relationships.
So
They
do
don't
men.
pick it.
Sometimes
Yes, they
so
do.
do men.
Yes, they do.
So do men.
How do you get into a relationship with someone if you don't pick them?
Because people change.
No,
People
this is like
change.
an excuse. This is an excuse I
It's
hear
not an
women.
excuse.
This is an excuse. This is
Hold
an
on.
excuse.
Can I finish my
No,
point?
because it's not true. So no, this is an excuse that women use. This is an excuse that women use to justify picking poorly.
So
90% of the time when women are in toxic relationships, it's because they didn't get their father's advice, their brother's advice, or their friend's advice. Half the time, everybody is warning them, telling them not to date them, and they do anyway.
Carol, are you the same person you were 10 years ago?
Am I the same
Are you
person?
the same person?
I would say I have very similar traits than I did 10 years ago.
Kim Kardashian has been married. Jada Pinkett has been married. Amber Rose has been married. Gabrielle Union. None of these women are marriage material. Men have a tendency, I don't know what it is, y'all be thinking y'all magicians and that y'all can turn a hoe into a housewife, and it doesn't work that way.
Say this all the time.
I'm gonna be honest, will get the worst type of woman, and you've been warned about her, but you go thinking that you could save her, and you wife her anyway. And then when everything that you were warned about comes to pass, now you want to get on a podcast complaining about how all women ain't. No, you've been dealing with it. Your Mima told you that girl was a floozy, but you didn't want to listen.
Throw that man some grace.
You wildin'. I look like I got grace.
God will show
I got a little bit of that.
So you don't expect nobody to show you grace?
I don't feel like I'm entitled to it. If that man decides to show me grace, great. If he doesn't have to. Well, if I make a bad decision, that's not the next man's problem.
Whenever women come online and complain about the level of attractiveness of the men that they themselves are attracting, I automatically assume it's rage bait. Because there's no way you lack that much self-awareness to think that you are so grand and above and beyond these petty little men that try and speak to you on a daily basis. Most men shoot where they think they're gonna score.
Let's start there. So if a man is a 5, he's probably going to shoot for other 5s, 6s, 4s, maybe a 7 if he's feeling lucky. Most 5s are not going to shoot for 10s unless they feel like shooting for the moon one day. But on a day-to-day, most men are shooting where they think they're going to score. And yes, he looked at you and said, yeah, that girl's probably on my level. She might say yes to me. And if that offends you, feel free to look in the mirror and change some things. And we have to remember that we are not the ones that set our place in the dating market. We have this idea that we are all 10s out of 10s because I said I'm a 10, so I'm a 10. And that's not up to you. It's actually up to the men. And feel free to ask one to see where you rank, because those ones that are coming online and just asking random men, they are getting comments filled with things that are going to make them very insecure in the future, and I don't wish that on my worst enemy. So ask a trusted male friend, would you?
Here's exactly why men should never marry or have children with today's modern women. And just like all women do, she made it all about her. And she weaponized her children as well by putting them in the video. Also, she can get clicks, likes, and validation from complete strangers on the internet that she so desperately needs by disrespecting her marriage and her husband. Hopefully he sees this in her for who she is and gets a lawyer, because trust me, she's already planning her escape.
But why do women feel that they can't court a man when he's courting her? So why do women feel like you can't tell him, hey, get dressed, meet me here, or I'm going to come pick you up. We got dinner plans. We got this. Let me fly you out. Why is it a problem for women to do the same thing to men but expect the man to do everything? I guess I'm just like, I'm mind blown when it comes to that.
So I'm a jump in on that, because I can relate to you. So I think that a lot of women was raised off of survival and not love. I think a lot of women was raised on literally coming out of survival. I wasn't, and this is, I'm just speaking from my personal experience. I was raised out of love. I was taught that if he paid a bill, you leave the tip.
I don't participate in those conversations because I think that women who don't take care of the men that they love are broke, to be quite honest. The ones who complain about, oh, why are you doing that? It's because they don't have it to do. Because let me tell you something. When a woman loves a man, she will spin that bag.
Man, this is the Nothing But the Truth live podcast.
There is an obvious war on young men happening right now, and the objective of this war is to keep men and women divided so that we don't join together to create family units, because if there's one thing that the elites hate, it is a strong family unit. And if I'm being completely honest, I don't see this problem getting better until women, myself included, take responsibility for the hand that we've had in radicalizing men. I'm gonna add this disclaimer, even though I shouldn't have to. I'm obviously not saying that women are solely responsible for fixing this issue, okay? I'm not saying that. But I will say that we had a big hand in creating this problem, and it is our responsibility to partially amend it. So what's going on with young men exactly? Well, the simple answer is they are not doing well. They are not succeeding. Women are surpassing them at every level in professional careers and education, all of it. Okay, we are seeing young men struggle. They are addicted to porn. They are addicted to video games. They do not want to partake in society because they have internalized this message that society and women hate them. Now, because this is the message that they are constantly hearing from society, both online and offline, men are becoming more radical. They are looking towards figures like Andrew Tate because figures like Andrew Tate actually validate them. And we as women, we have not made this any easier for men, okay? I will give you an example of what the average experience for a man is in this current society, especially online. Men go on TikTok and what do they see? They hear women saying, if you're not tall, rich, and hot, get out of my face. They see women doxing men online just for, sending them a DM on Instagram just because they're ugly. They see women saying, men used to go to war and now they just take pictures. They see all of this and it just reinforces this idea that society hates them and that women hate them. I don't know about you, but I would also not want to partake in a society that makes me feel that way. I would also not want to couple up with the gender that's making me feel that way. Now look, this conversation is very nuanced. I'm not saying this is the sole reason why men are becoming radicalized, because it's not. But it is a portion of it, right? And this is something that we as women can control. So ladies, I need you to stop complaining that there are no good guys out there. Because first of all, that's not true. And also, we are not creating an environment that is going to facilitate the growth of good men. We are creating an environment that makes them want to be reclusive. Because all we're doing is shouting, "You suck, we hate you, get out of our faces." And I already know that some feminists are going to attack me in the comments saying, okay, pick me, okay, pick me, okay, pick Misha. But I don't care. I don't care, okay? I think it's very important that women are talking about this, okay? Because this is a problem. This is a problem in society. Men make up half of our population, okay? We want strong men. We need strong men in society. As much as you probably don't want to hear that, it's the truth, okay? Yeah.
A lot of these modern women don't show any sort of ability to be grateful. They don't show any ability to appreciate a man. They just keep on giving a man stuff to do. And they think, honestly and truly, oh, a man needs to be needed. I need him. There's a lot of projects that I need to be done. And they just, let's do this, let's do that, let's go here, let's go there. And sometimes they do legit forget to appreciate the man, legitimately. But some of these modern women, they don't forget to appreciate the man. They're not appreciating the man. They're trying to let the man know, oh, well, I mean, that's your job. I thought you said you wanted to be, or you needed to be needed. You needed something to do. So I'm giving you something to do. And I need this done by this certain time. And the man is like, I can do that, but how come you're so rude about it? How come you're so demanding about it? How come you're so entitled about it? Why are you not grateful? Why don't you say thank you? I don't have to. I'm a woman. I'm the prize. You should want to work to receive this prize. And prizes don't last forever. There's other men that are willing to do twice the amount of work to get me. No, ma'am. Those are men that want to get in your pants. They'll do things to get into your pants. You need to start being grateful and understanding what this man actually brings to the table. If a man is willing to do a lot of stuff for you and to take care of you, you need to come down off your high horse. And matter of fact, stay on your high horse, but show some freaking gratitude.
I'm gonna let her talk and I'm gonna explain after.
To coach our coaches' classes and sessions. Let's decode what men really mean when they say certain things. Excuse number one, if he says I'm so stressed out, he's broke. Says I'm going through a lot, he's broke. If he says I'm fighting my demons right now, he's broke. If he says I have a lot on my plate, he's broke. Last but not least, if he says I'm severely overwhelmed, what does that mean, class? He is broke. Good job. A's across the board.
Now, I'm not gonna go with the unhammered attacks and attack her figure at all. I'm just gonna speak what she said. I'm gonna attack the argument. Now, I did make a comment on her page, and here it is. And I said, nah, rich men go through other things besides finances. This applies specifically for ones who aren't rich. Hey, she's just talking about the money. Now, like I said, I wasn't going to attack her. I'm just going to attack the argument. Typically, when women say, I'm working on myself, she big as f***. Typically, when women say, I'm battling demons, she big as f***. And when women say, I don't feel good and something is wrong and I'm mentally going through something, you guessed it. She big as f***. And you want to get married. Pack it up.
She says you should feel safer with men around. IDKY women choose the bear. Goes for a bench press. Not gonna get it. Oh no, missed the lower set of hooks. Watch how long it takes for someone to help me get out of this failed bench press. Alright sister, let's see it. She's doing pretty well. It's not touching her neck. She's strong enough to avoid that. Looks like the plates are not falling off. I guess she has the clips on the bar. If you want to fail a bench press, by the way, by yourself, don't put the clips on the bar. And she got out of it though. Nice. So, not a massive deal. Was not in any major danger, it seemed like, which it could go bad. Guy walks by like nothing happened. It looks like by the time this guy walks by, you were out from underneath the bar and you had just set it back in the hooks. What did you want him to do? Come over and pat you on the shoulder and say, "Are you okay?" Then you'd say he's being an abrasive man who thinks women can't take care of themselves? Now let's read her caption. I don't post fails often, but this one was wild. One of the many reasons why I hate bench pressing. If you don't have a friend with you, you get ugly real fast. Watching that guy walk past was crazy though. According to this woman's profile, she is the lesbian community's favorite weightlifter and insecure straight men's worst nightmare. I like how you capitalized insecure straight men. Then this guy comments, no, this video is actually perfect. Going for a 1-rep max with no spotter, fails the lift and gets stuck, and guess whose fault it is? That's right, men. Who aren't even in the video. Woman puts herself in a dangerous position and blames imaginary men who aren't even there for it. And then someone says, meanwhile, she's dressing like a tough alpha biker man. Yeah, that's a common lesbian aesthetic.
Women tend to prioritize the wrong things, which makes it very hard for them to find a man that embodies leadership characteristic traits.
But I also feel like men try to plant flowers that they're not even intelligent on planting. Like they'll try to put water the seeds of a rose, but yet they only know how to plant sunflowers. Like you could sometimes be a flower in the wrong garden. So I feel like a lot of men don't water their women, and then they expect them to be able to water themselves. And there needs to be nutrients in that soil and
Listen,
stuff.
I like blue cheese on my word salad. That was a lot of word salad. What was that?
When people say that they hate astrology, I just think that they hate women.
I'm sorry, but was that supposed to make any reasonable amount of sense? Disliking astrology is the equivalent to sexism now? Okay. Now, and I don't hate astrology. I just happen to find it illogical and irrational and not worth any reasonable person's time.
When do something collectively, it's known as a trend or a fad. But when men do something collectively, it becomes culture.
Oh dear, really? They're actually diving into this one, aren't they?
Men who go on dates with men and ask about their star sign are no different to men who go on dates and ask women if they fear God. There's really no difference.
Really?
These activities are just dehumanized and ridiculed and mocked under this current society.
When someone runs out of legitimate things to complain about, this is what happens.
And there's just such a trope of like women going on dates and being like, what's your star sign? And men being like, oh, like you're not into that, are you? And it just shows their subconscious bias. Like, you just don't value things that women like. Sorry.
No, most people don't like astrology because it is irrational. Stop trying to make things into something they are not.
And I'm not trying to make excuses for men, but it's hard for men to date. Women aren't aware of this because men, we're not allowed to complain about dating in public. I'm not talking about getting dates. I'm just saying being like the good person y'all want us to be is difficult. We can't talk about it. Women can complain. Y'all go on bad dates, y'all talk about it, start a podcast, it's fun. You gotta have empathy for women. They go through a lot. You gotta make them feel seen, no matter how ridiculous the shit they say is. You gotta pretend like it makes sense. That's our job. I mastered it. I'm an expert. I know how to talk to the ladies. My homegirls, they love me. Because they go on dates sometimes, if it don't work out, I'm the first person they call to complain about the date. Because I know how to pretend, you know? I act like I'm shocked. Like I never heard no man do no like this ever. And I sell it. I'm like, what? He made you pay for the food that you ate? They don't make them like they used to.
I don't have a recession indicator, but I do have a chivalry is indicator.
My chivalry is indicator is very on brand for me, but it's something that I notice when I go out in clubs. Traditionally, men would let women dance on elevated surfaces because it was fun. And now I see men literally scrambling and like not pushing women off, but definitely being competitive for that space. Like they take up more of the on the table dancing than the girls do. You're supposed to be buying the tables for us. Thanks.
You're assaulting us. I understand. Hey.
Now, look, I'm not the type of person to tell a woman that she needs to keep her mouth shut when it comes to things, especially a guy telling you that. But there's a time where I think you should learn to shut the up, and that is this time. When your man is getting into it with other men, it's best you stand behind him and keep your mouth closed. Cállate tu pinche hocico, pendeja. You know why? Because if it ever is a point where a man decides, hey, you know what, let's jump this, your husband's gonna get all because of your dumb. And I'm cussing because your man can be put in harm's way because of how dumb you are and what you don't think of. Women only think of now and how, oh yeah, we're gonna fight, we're gonna be chaotic, but you don't think of what if that person has a knife. You don't think of what if that person says, I don't want to fight, let me shoot his. And all because of your mouth and not shutting up and not knowing when to stop, you're gonna let a situation go from this small to now you made it this big. There's times where men, they could talk, go back and forth and go, that's enough, that's it. And it's not gonna get to a state. But you pushing people and you hitting people and doing all that, of course a man's gonna push you. A man has every right to defend himself if you put your hands on him. I'm all about equal fights. If you're a woman and you put your hands on somebody and he hits you back, that's what you get. Because what are you doing, bro? I got brothers, I know you shouldn't even be doing that. So now if your partner comes to defend you and he gets his beat, I hope that man leaves your. I would leave you too, because you are only going to put me into jail or put me into harm's way. And when a woman really cares about her man, she's going to encourage her man, babe, let's go. No, babe, it's not worth it. Let's go. Why would you encourage your man to go into the fire? That makes no sense. And now how embarrassing. This man's all over the internet getting his beat because of you. It's the same thing as those women when their husbands are fighting and they're holding their husbands and their husbands are getting beat up. Some of you guys just, oh my God, man, you guys make the worst partners. And to me, this is like the worst thing that you can go through, because now we have to do the walk of shame, or we have to do in the car together and now either be arguing and our whole night is ruined, all because of something you did. And women, please take accountability. There are times where you guys over panic over situations that you don't need to panic on. And you know what's sad? How can you panic and get crazy over something you started? This woman's the dumbest bitch. Oh my God, bro, this shit irritates me because everybody's telling her to stop and she keeps going. Whatever happens after that is definitely your fault. You're lucky that guy didn't knock you out and then knock your.
He was right. These modern women, that what they do is they go into, actually, honestly and truly, they go on about their life, doing whatever they want to do, and they make like little, little jokes about not getting their man something, and some women are like legitimately joking. And they get their man something that he would like. But a lot of these modern women, they don't really even care about the man. It's all for them. There was one woman that was perplexed. She was confused why a man was like, this is not this. I don't really like this birthday thing that you planned. Can we? And he kept on asking her, even though she was taking him on all of these exhibits or attractions and things to do. He kept on saying, can we just go over here and do this? Why you want to do that when I got all this stuff planned? Because all of this stuff is the stuff that you want to do. This is not what I want to do. I'm grateful that you planned it, but you wanted some things to do and you planned them on my birthday, talking about I wanted to do all of these things for you. You didn't think that I liked it. You knew I didn't. You know I don't care about any of this stuff. But you do it because that's what you want to do. You're lazy and you're selfish. That's what modern women be doing to men, especially when it's the man's holiday, when it's the man's time to celebrate. Modern women don't even be thinking about a man. A man is an afterthought. We want to make fun of, the men go in and they're buying at the last minute on Valentine's Day or Mother's Day. They're buying roses and flowers and presents for their moms. Da 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 da. You don't have to worry about a last minute push from modern women, because there wasn't going to be no push in the first place. There wasn't going to be no push in the first place. They wasn't planning on buying that man nothing.
Why do women have to prove their value, but men just have to show up?
I think it's the opposite. I think men have to prove their value, and a woman just has to show up.
It depends on who you asking.
No, I think if you're pretty, you could get access to the parties, to the invite only, to the private yachts, to the billionaires club, just because they want to have you in the room. Now, we know what they want you in the room for, but if you're smart, you don't go for it. You work the room so that they invite you directly after. Whereas men got to earn the money, have the job, get the accolades, do the achievement in order to even almost have access to some of the things that she gets. Mm-hmm. So I actually feel like beautiful women get much more opportunities than men do.
Mm-hmm.
What y'all think?
It just depends on who you're asking.
Personally, I don't know the answer. I just feel like for me personally, I think that as a woman, I get more opportunities than a man because I think that men want me to be in the space, but they don't expect me to come with the character or the work ethic that I come with. And that's what keeps me in the room. What I look like might get me to the room, maybe if I know somebody, but what I'm built by or built of is what keeps me in the room.
Who should take out the trash after dark? The man. Who should be checking the backyard when the dog goes crazy at 1 a.m? The man. Who carries the heavy boxes and fixes the flat tire and answers the unexpected knock at the door? The man. They're built to handle the riskier, heavier things. And most women love when a man shows up like that. It brings stability and she can relax knowing that she's being taken care of. But somewhere along the way, some women start picking up these riskier, heavier things, not necessarily on purpose. It kind of just creeps in. The bills, the decisions, the problems, the constant managing, and all of a sudden, she's doing his job. And that's when the home feels out of whack, not because she's wrong, but because the roles flipped. And she's carrying the weight. That drains her, and he no longer has the space to step up into his. But when she shifts back into her lane, more feminine, less tense, not holding the entire house on her shoulders, things can change very quickly. He rises and she softens and the home feels like a home again. So if you're doing what your man should be doing, you're in your masculine energy and that can drain you. It can seriously damage your relationship right under your nose. I made a free quiz so you can help find out which energy you're living in and what needs to shift. Comment quiz and I'll send you the link.
I didn't say that women don't want a happy, loving relationship with their family. I didn't say that.
Okay. A husband is part of the family.
Right. So I've been there and done that. But yeah, nobody said.
Just because it didn't work out for you, drop a bomb. You talking about I've been there and I've done that. Maybe your experiences won't be her experiences. Don't make them feel like that is not a good thing and they shouldn't go for it because maybe it didn't work for you. Everybody has to experience it on their own, and I mean that respectfully, ma'am. Respectfully.
I didn't say that it didn't work out for me. Y'all asked the question and then you come over here with the extra because you have to like try to get a jump out her skin. Was she?
I'm just responding. I'm listening to what you're saying.
I'm not about to jump out my skin because you got ignorant responses.
I'm just listening to what you're saying. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't say that.
You have an ignorant mindset. 80% of men that are locked up right now come out of single mother households. Men and boys, on average, do way better in life when they have two parents in the household, their father and their mother. That two-parent household automatically is going to be better for that child. Statistically, the facts show it. Kids that are raised in single mother households don't do well as kids that are raised in single father households. Those are facts, those are the stats. So I would say that the key to making sure that your kids have a successful life is to make sure that that mother man is in that child's life. And what better way to have that man in that child's life if mommy and daddy are in the same house at the same time being a parent?
I mean, I
appreciate it, Tressa.
So I'm leaving Target and I just had this thought like, wow, it's just so many beautiful, educated Black women in Atlanta. Like, what the heck am I doing here? Like, the pickings are too wide. It's not enough men out here. Like, no wonder why I'm single, because there's literally so many women. They could have these men or women, whatever you like. I like men. So these men could literally have a different bed, a different nice woman every day, like a good girl. Like, which states are the men in? Where y'all at? Where? Black men, brown men, white men, blue men.
I'm a married man that understands the risk of men trying to get married. I'm going to say marriage isn't for everybody. I'm the type that's going to advocate for the women and say, I actually think you need to be at a certain dollar amount in dealing with today's women. As an example, the woman under 40 that you see today is not the 40-year-old version of your mother or your grandma. Between social media, between OnlyFans, between the liberation movement, etc., these women have been conditioned to be addicted to dopamine spikes. What it's done is the version of what women in the West are now. Their hypergamous nature is to a level no other women that's ever existed collectively have ever done. They're demanding things that no women have, that in mass have ever demanded from a collective of men. They're asking for more than ever before. They cannot be content. They're taking this mindset into a marriage, to a relationship, in the dating market, and not getting the desired outcome, and they've been convinced that the problem is just and primarily the men.
Women who want men to share more, to open up. Don't interrupt him. When he pauses, count to 30. Most men will come in at about 18, unless you're asking about feelings. Could be 3 days. Don't ever ask a question that isn't worth waiting for the answer. And women start waiting for the answer. And lo and behold, men start talking, which is amazing. He's opening up. Then they have a new complaint. Well, I listened to him for an hour and a half, and then he didn't listen to me. Men show appreciation by take and use. You know they appreciate the listening because they're talking. They know they appreciate the sandwich because they ate it. Women show appreciation by direct reciprocity. I listened to you for 27 minutes. Now you listen to me for 27 minutes. And women are profoundly aware of this. The men will open up and then they'll complain, but they're not listening to me. Well, that's a whole other thing. Get listened to by a man. He's not going to do it in return. He's not built that way.
And you can correct me if I'm wrong here.
Yeah.
Is it true that you said that there was a rotation of guys?
A roster.
Yeah,
what is a roster
What does that
mean to
mean?
you?
What does this mean?
You guys have to understand, have you ever heard of the repressed Catholic schoolgirl?
Never.
I was, you know. Okay. So I was
His Catholic school was in his living room. Imagine how repressed he was.
I was a repressed Indian girl that I didn't even watch Jersey Shore in high school because I felt it to be too inappropriate. So when I got to college, I'm like, oh my God, I can dress however I want. I can do whatever I want.
You can have a roster of frat boys.
But-
What does a roster mean?
So it didn't actually translate to a roster. It just meant like 2 guys I was talking to and flirting with at the same time. That's it.
That's all.
Yeah.
And when you say hooking up, I think people
When
think you
I
meant
mean
fucking.
hooking up, I just meant making out. Again, like everything I say is so amplified and hyperbolic because it's so like incongruous to who I actually am as a person.
Right. So you're saying you're a big old prude.
Yeah, literally. One of our fans asked us, would you guys have an orgy? So I just said, oh, I'm actively trying, like as a joke. Now, looking back, like it's been pointed out to me and I get that. I feel like for us, I think I learned so much of my humor from Akash, not to like justify it, but just to explain like, oh, if I say these absurd things, it's so funny because it's not who I actually am.
Right.
But I kind of forgot that like the internet doesn't know all these multi-dimensions of my personality, so they're
Right.
just seeing this one thing.
Right.
So the orgy joke started with like Akash being like, oh, Nav's really hot. Like Akash would show Nav's picture to his trainer or whatever, because he's like really like, yeah, ripped or whatever.
I will say also, if she had a body count, I would have been like, hey, cut the. But
Yeah.
because she doesn't, and I know how like innocent she actually is.
Oh, you
it's
are a virgin?
absurd
That's
to me.
real?
I was
You
a
were a
virgin
virgin?
until I met him. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, good to know.
Yeah.
And if she wasn't, that body count thing, I'd have been like, what are we doing here?
Right.
Because I would have been insecure about it. But I can be, not that I'm so secure, but with that joke, I'm like so secure.
Oh, I
because know.
absolutely would feel insecure.
And I think
Yeah.
stupidly, I was like, oh, it's an orgy, so it's all of us. It's not like
Yeah,
talking.
that is stupid.
Yeah.
I said you're being inclusive. You're being inclusive.
I thought I was being
It's not a
And these modern women think it's the entitlement is really what it is. Men are here for them. Men are out here trying to do stuff for them. Well, you're supposed to be buying tables for us. Why? I don't know you. I'm getting on the table. I paid my fee just like you paid your fee. Me and the boys taking over the stage. Oh, well, that's feminine to get on the stage and jump around with my boys. That's feminine. That's gay now. For me to go out and have fun. We went to a club to have fun. The same thing that you guys are doing. We went to a club to cut loose. That's what we're here for. We're not here to buy you a drink. We're not worried about, oh, y'all always got to worry about. Okay then, I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about hanging out. We're going to have a good time, mess around, and we're going home. Hey, bro, last night was wild. Yeah, it was, man. Should do it again sometime. Yeah, bet. But modern women, they try to make a man's experience terrible. They should have written the article. Having a boyfriend is, what is it, embarrassing? They should have written an article that said being around modern women is embarrassing.